But I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown, I amuse you.
God.
Eat shit. How's that? Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
You can't handle the truth!
Hey everybody, and welcome to another episode of Your List Sucks. I'm not Cody Newberry. I am the big Canadian boss man, Brooklyn Vail. He somehow gave me the keys to the house, and we're gonna do rock anthems. Favorite rock anthems, pretty broad category. And there are definitely a couple of dozen music lovers in the community. A lot of people sent in lists, but these, I believe, are the four most interesting lists of the bunch. We're going to start off with the producer, the person who usually, I think, runs behind the scenes of every Your List Sucks, King Smurf himself, Kaleb Koho. How are you doing?
I prefer King Sonic. Gotta go fast, boy. But I'm excited to be here. I can't believe we're doing music on this show. They let me do comic books before they let you do music. I hope you let that sink in for a moment. But this is going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited to be here. So we get show.
I mean, technically, Cody did do a Your List Sucks of Disney songs, so he has ventured into the music realm before.
Technically. Also, I forgot to say, I am the youngest one on here, and so my list is going to reflect what I grew up with, what I love, but I also went off of Brooklyn's definition of songs that definitely defined a generation. So that's what I went with, and I think this is going to be a good list.
All right. Next up, down in the bottom left corner, it is one Irishman, Doug Cassel. Doug, how are you doing on this fine Wednesday?
As Garth plainly pointed out, this is the episode where I will famously die upon. I'm good. I'm trying to make it through. I took a little bit of a nap, so hopefully my headache will retreat a little bit and we can get down with this list. A little bit of
All right. And also joining us today, no stranger to, I guess, the old realm of jukebox. He played a dance-off. I think he was in an Iron Man match as well. Trivia. He is bigger Papa, Jeff. How are you, Jeff? How does it feel to talk about music finally on Your List Sucks?
Oh, it's always a good time to sit here and talk about music. We got a good panel tonight. I'm hoping that we piss off some of the younger generation with my old man picks. So I'm here to be the crotchety old man and criticize Koho for his 40 Panic at the Disco songs.
All right, and also joining us as well, he is one of the first people to ever compete in, the old jukebox realm, and he's been an avid supporter nonetheless, and that is one Jim Green. How you doing? How do you feel about rock anthems?
Well, first off, on any video, I must say fuck you, Lucas, because, why not? Fuck Lucas. But as far as rock anthems go, it's good to be here. Talk music with on a recorded thing with Brooklyn for the first time, I think, because I don't think I played in the dance off, and every other time it was just trivia, so me talking shit to Brooklyn. So this will be a new fun thing where Brooklyn talks shit to me the entire time.
All right, guys. So for those of you who don't know how the show works, each person, I guess, is going to go through their 10 through 8, and then we're going to go through the 7 through 4. Let the people have some chance to talk, and then we'll each go one by one, their 3 through 1, and then the yikes / punt rule does apply. But let's get right into it. We're going to start off with Doug. Doug, give us your 10 through 8.
Cool. My 10 is Stairway to Heaven. Led Zeppelin.
Yikes.
Thought so. My 9 is Knocking on Heaven's Door, Guns N' Roses. And my 8 is Hotel California by the Eagles.
Alrighty. Well, we can't talk about Stairway to Heaven because that has been yikes. But let's go over to Knocking on Heaven's Door by Guns N' Roses. You picked the wrong version of Knocking on Heaven's Door. Bob Dylan, the original person, did it perfectly fine. I think Guns N' Roses sort of. I'm not a big fan of that of Axl Rose, and I think they just sort of applied their sound to the song and didn't really need to. But I agree, lyrically wise, it is an anthem. But yeah, there was a better choice here. But getting on to Hotel California, a semi-successful attempt of pulling on my heartstrings. Hotel California is the greatest song ever made. But as I was like going through like what I would check on this list, Hotel California, I wouldn't even consider it as like a rock anthem. I guess I love the message. I love the theme of it and how it's essentially about drug addiction and just sort of that journey of it. But I would consider it more of like a story, I guess, as opposed to an anthem. Thomas Scully, you are no longer part of the New British Empire network. You are ceased. You are gone. That might be a hate crime. But yeah. Glad to see Hotel California. I think eight's fine. If it was a little higher, I'd be like, there's some other ones that are more anthemy. But let's go over now to Kaleb Koho.
All right. Well, we're going to get right into it. Number 10 is the seminal recent bias, My Song Associated in the Dark, Light 'Em Up by Fall Out Boy. My number 9 is Victorious, Panic at the Disco. And my 8 is American Pie by Don McLean. So my number 10, I figured no one's going to yikes these because I'm the youngin'. My Song's Know What You Did in the Dark, Light 'Em Up, I think is one of the anthems of this decade for sure that will define the generation slightly below me as being one of their biggest rock anthems. Like, that's arena rock at one of its best in the modern days, one of the last great ones, I think, before we start getting into electro rock, which I don't hate. But I think it's a really good Fall Out Boy song. It found its stride, but yeah. My 9, Victorious, Panic at the Disco. This is a very personal pick. If I'm picking a Panic at the Disco one, I don't consider I Write This Not Tragedies an anthem. I don't consider a lot of songs that they've made totally anthemic. I think High Hopes is one, but it's not a rock anthem. I think Victorious is like the song that is still very much rock. It's still a little bit electro rock, but still rock. That totally fits into that anthem vibe. So I put it, this is my personal pick. This was my slight cheat almost, if you want to go with that. And American Pie, Don McLean is my only real soft rock pick on this list because honestly, that defined like my dad's generation. That's like the song that most people consider, like when you think of 70s, that's one of the rock anthems that like you go anywhere, everyone knows the lyrics to American Pie. So I put that at 8. Probably could have been a little bit higher. I just don't resonate with American Pie as much as others.
Okay, so number 10, My Songs Know What You Did, Light 'Em Up. This is definitely like a recency bias. I'm not surprised by this pick. 10 is fine, but I would have rather seen like Thanks for the Memories, Grand Theft Autumn / Where Is Your Boy. I'd even accept Dance, Dance, Dance. But it's whatever. It fits your niche, and it's totally understandable. Number 9, which was Victorious. I wasn't well versed into this song before the show came up, so I didn't listen to it a few times. It's weird because the chorus is actually the worst part of the song. The verse is great, but I find the chorus is like it's anthemic vocally, but it sort of needs that music to carry over from the verse into the chorus, and I'm just kind of like, it's 9, it's fine, and once again, it's very on brand. Number 8 is where You Are on Trial. For somebody,
no, I wasn't prepared to put this up already. But
no,
okay.
Sorry, you are. It's not just you that are on trial. You are all on trial. The fact that I did not hear yikes from a single person is a crime. Also, Koho, as somebody who is very lyric heavy and loves like songwriting and lyrics, this is the greatest story of music.
I agree.
It's an anthem. It's one of the greatest anthems for that reason. And at number 8, knowing the rest of the shit that you put on your list, is fucking yikes for me, dog.
The Saga Begins is the better version of that song. Sorry.
Go back to bed, Jim.
I don't disagree, though. I don't disagree.
I do not disagree.
Jim, go back to bed. It's past your bedtime. Go watch your Cowboys lose. But
it's the off-season.
Brooklyn.
When you're a Giants fan, the whole season feels like an off season. I know.
But yeah, American Pie, like, I guess I understand the gripe that it is folk rock, and we wouldn't consider it that much of a rock anthem. But something has. How does this song? No, Whippersnapper know American Pie is. I would hope he knows what it's about. Maybe he doesn't know who Buddy Holly and Richie Valens are.
Buddy Holly.
But yeah,
it's not just a Weezer song, Ko. I promise you.
This is criminally low, and the fact that you are the only person that has it on its list is a damn shame. But I just realized that I never let Doug talk about his 10-9 ace. So I did an oopsie. Doug, why don't you quickly talk about your list before we go over to Jeff?
Yeah, it's cool. Knocking on Heaven's Door, it's easy why this was a pick for me. This was a pick for me because music heads know that this was a Bob Dylan song. When Guns N' Roses came out with it, this was probably one of their last great album, one of their last really good albums before they got really trash. They did. This was probably one of their last ones. And Knocking on Heaven's Door was one of my favorite tracks off of that. It's been one of my favorite tracks. You can not like Axl Rose, but you cannot take away that he is a vocalist and a stage performer when they do this on stage. Yikes. And then Hotel California, I do feel is a rock anthem. It may not be like the typical rock anthem, but when people listen to that song, it's iconic. You know every lyric of that. It is the definition of rock because it's about addiction. Rock and addiction go hand in hand, and I think when you're talking about anthems, it doesn't necessarily has to be about rocking, right? You're not wrong. You're not wrong.
Garth spitting some straight facts.
Garth is on a roll tonight.
Garth, thank you, because actually laughing made me take that headache away a little bit. But no, I think Hotel California, rock anthems don't necessarily have to be anthems that are right in your face. Chant a song with me. They have to be something that you feel right down to your core when they sing about it. And like, I think that's what backs up an anthem on my list.
All right. Well, I now understand why you put Hotel California on there and your other songs. But let us go over to Jeff. Give us your 10 through 8.
All right, now let's get a nice palate cleanser after Koho's little Panic at the Disco stuff. All right, so let's get into some music now. All right, so number 10, I got Johnny Be Good by Mr. Chuck Berry. Shame on you all, god damn it. Number 9, I have Just For You, Brooklyn, Born to Run by Bruce Springsteen. And number 8, I have Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones.
God, these are old man picks.
Yeah, these are old. I'm the grumpy old man of this show. Come on.
Were you alive in the 50s?
I could be, but but going back to the 50s. So number 10, Johnny Be Good. I feel like in order to talk about rock anthems, you got to pay respects to where it all started, and Johnny Be Good is really where rock and roll music of today and the stuff that we love is. That's just it takes the cake from here. I mean, Chuck Berry is like probably one of the best guitar players of all time, and really showed it with this song and kind of defined a sound going forward for the next 50 years and then some. So you have to pay respects to the originator from there. Number 9, Born to Run, Bruce Springsteen. Yes, Brooklyn, hear me out for a minute. I know you and Bruce have some history, but when you look at this lyrically, I mean, this is kind of like a relatable song. This is a song anybody can kind of look to and be like, this speaks to me, as somebody like, I just want to, make it. I just want to prove myself and try and be something more than what I am right now. And that is kind of like something anybody can relate to. It doesn't matter if you grew up in Generation X or what, but this is a song that can really speak to anybody. And I think it's a song that anybody can just play in their car and just scream the chorus out to, no problems at all. And then number 8, I got Blitzkrieg Bop by the Ramones. The Ramones shaped punk rock for everybody. Like, they weren't known for having these really technical songs and like crazy solos. They were known for compositions. They had songs that could get into your ear really quick and have you humming along to them. They did that really well. And Blitzkrieg Bop is really like kind of like one of the defining punk rock songs that anybody can just sit along to. And it's an easy song to sing when you're drunk too. Just sitting there, hey, oh, let's go. It's easy to remember. And I think the Ramones too are just an amazing band and criminally underrated.
All right, let's go over to number 10, Johnny Be Good. I'm glad that there is some representation of the old like 50s rock and roll. If there was a song to pick, this is definitely the prime example. 10 is an absolutely fair spot, and I think I'd even allow it to go a little bit higher on the list, depending on like how far you spread out like generation wise and genre wise. Number 9, which was God, which Born to Run by that one Bruce Springsteen. This is like one of two good songs that he has, so I will temporarily allow this. If you had picked like Thunder Road or like Born in the USA, I'd be giving you a much harder time. But Bruce Springsteen at 9, as much shit as I have given that man in the past, I'll let it slide. It's whatever. And then number 8, Blitzkrieg Bop. This is a punk staple, and like you said it yourself, it's an iconic punk rock song, and it sort of shaped the way that punk would go in the future. I was as soon as you sent in this list and I saw Blitzkrieg Bop, I instantly wanted to start playing Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 again, because that's all I could think of is that soundtrack, and what a fucking bopper that is, pun intended. It's simple. It's not really like venturing out anywhere music wise. It's more lyrical. It has a message. It's great, and you know what? 8 is fair. 8 is fair. And now let's go over to one Jimothy Green. Let's hear your 10 through 8.
Oh, my 10 through 8. Number 10 is going to be All Star by Smash Mouth.
That's what we call a yikes.
Yikes.
Number 9 is Tribute by Tenacious D. And then number 8 is Deuce by Kiss. And yeah, you spelled it right. I spelled it wrong in my list here. Okay, cool. Only one yikes. That's cool. So number 9 is Tribute by Tenacious D. And I just really love Tenacious D in general. I couldn't go to the concert like 2 months ago because it was like $100 as the cheapest ticket there. But yeah, I've loved Tenacious D since I saw Pick of Destinies when I was like 14. So I shouldn't have seen that movie when I did. But hey, all fair. And then Tribute, I think it's one of their best songs. So, Tenacious D there. And then Kiss. The easy pick is any of the easy picks by Kiss, but I went Deuce just because I like it better than the easy pick songs. And I had to kind of be what's the word I'm thinking of? Hipster with the pick here, because I have some more mainstream picks. So I went with the hipster Kiss pick.
Malcolm, you shut your mouth. Malcolm, you shut your mouth. I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt. Malcolm,
well, first of all, Doug, you shush. Malcolm, go back to bed. It's past your bedtime. Teeth and jammies, you know the drill. But yeah, 10 is a punt. But 9 Tribute. I'm very glad that Tenacious D is on this list in some way, shape, or form. Very surprised that it did not get yikes. I also would have accepted Roadie. I think Roadie is a great rock anthem, but Tribute especially, it's another mix of good storytelling, and like Jack Black is just the right amount of cheese when he's going back and forth between like him and the devil. And it's low key funny without it being like I guess Weird Al levels of humor, where the humor sort of takes away from the song, and I think that's what makes it a really good rock anthem. Number 8, no bar, no. Kiss is not overrated. You're totally right. You could have easily picked like Detroit Rock City, or you could have picked Rock and Roll All Nice, or Lick It Up would have been another one. Deuce was actually on like their Kiss Greatest Hits album, and this is one that I listened to a lot as a kid. So this brought back a lot of memories of just going through road trips and hearing it. And I think this is a good mix of I like not as much lyricism wise, but I think the riffs in this are great, and they sort of fit to, like, I mean, obviously they fit to the song. They would have made the song if it didn't fit. But yeah, I wouldn't even say it's hipster. It's just more of a low key hit. Not a lot of people remember Deuce, but once they hear it, they're like, oh yeah, I've definitely heard this song before. But yeah, let's go on to the rest. Let's go down to like 7 through 4, and let's start off with Doug.
Yeah, Good Riddance. Green Day is my 7.
Great pick.
I love this song. This song defines. I think this song defined graduations. Every graduation from 96
on.
From 96 on. And I had to put. So I put two pop punks. You'll see that later. But I had to represent pop punk because it's very much aligned with the type of music that I played in high school, even a little out of high school. But I think this song, when you mention just the guitar intro guitar, fuck, and it's like everybody's like, all right, it's time to cry a little bit. But this song, like, kind of it's the quintessential high school graduation video yearbook song. But yeah, that's my 7.
All right. So Good Riddance by Green Day. It's like I think like Jeff and Jim mentioned, it's a very iconic graduation song. I would pick that Vitamin C song over it.
Ooh, that's a trip.
Yeah. But in terms of Green Day, I would honestly rather go Basket Case or Minority, or I would even go Holiday, Boulevard of Broken Dreams. There's so many to pick. Like, I think there isn't enough rock. Like with American Pie, there is that sense of folk rock. Where with Good Riddance, it's almost like folk pop. I would say. I get that it's a song that's sort of held on throughout the generations, and I think like especially with our age demographic of like 18 to 26 year olds, it really has carried on and has that nostalgia value. 7 is fine, but there's some better choices from Green Day on this list. Tom, Scully, I agree with you. Bust, Kaleb, Jim, Jeff, why wasn't Green Day on your list?
I actually thought about this literally today and was like, oh, I should have put Holiday by Green Day on there because that's pretty good, but it was already too late. So yeah. They were like they'd probably be in like the 11 to 13-ish range for me.
I mean, I wouldn't put this as like the top rock anthem, but I do like Green Day. If anything, I would probably go like either Longview or Minority or even Brain Stew. Like, I think like those are probably like the better of like Green Day. But Good Riddance, it's a nice soft rock kind of song. And it's a good song to sing at a campfire. I mean, like you'll instantly get tears from people.
Has Koho even heard of Green Day?
My problem with Green Day is I had too many to pick from. So I just opted entirely that I couldn't pick. I almost went 21 Guns. I almost went 21 Guns. That's my favorite. 21 Guns or Know Your Enemy or American Idiot were the 3 that I debated.
All recency bias.
It's those 3 and Good Riddance were the 4 that I battled with, and I ultimately just decided like it's close. They were all close, but like I went with the one that's a little bit more personal to me. So
he was gonna go 21 Guns because of that remixed Broadway version that they released a few years later after.
Sure.
So he's like, that's Broadway. That could be a rock. That could
Correction. It was written for the Broadway show, and then they put it on 21 Century.
I did not know that. I literally only heard on 21 Century. I have not seen or listened to the American Idiot stage show. So,
all right, let's go to your number 6.
Cool. My number 6 is First Date by Blink-182.
Okay, I have a Blink-182 in the same range. Do we want to? I don't know.
We'll talk. Yeah, we'll talk about them. I guess we'll wait. I guess until we get to yours.
Okay.
Get to Caleb's.
You guys hear Blink-182?
Well, okay, so will you explain Blink-182 then?
Don't you dare talk trash on Blink-182.
Blink-182 slaps. Go away.
So my number 5 is Today by the Smashing Pumpkins. This is a 90s anthem if you've ever heard one. Smashing Pumpkins is very much a 90s band. I remember seeing them at a festival. I can't tell you what festival it was because I can't remember.
That sounds about right.
It's one of those things. But no, I think you listen to that song, and that song very much is an anthem about trying to be in the moment, and not living past today. And I love this song. I think this song, the underlying message is a positive one, and it's very off-brand for them because if you listen to a lot of their music, it is a lot of like sad. It's not happy sad like The Cure. So I think it's a great song, and I think it if you actually listen to it, it's a great song for the 90s.
Yeah, I was never really a Smashing Pumpkins fan growing up. I didn't attach to them in that age demographic that I probably should have. Today is fine. I actually would agree with Bar where tonight is better. And I would actually almost put I think it's called 1917.
1979.
1979. Sorry. Yeah. You know me in numbers. I'm always like one off and shit. But yeah, today is fine. I'm sure I'll probably be told why Smashing Pumpkins needs to be on this list in some way, shape, or form. Not necessarily the greatest band of the 90s, in my opinion. I would probably put them in like 15 to 20-ish range of even like alt rock bands of the 90s. But I understand that I'm just sort of in the minority, and I don't really have enough of an opinion to sort of justify it and make it right. But you're the only person that has Smashing Pumpkins. Let's hear from everybody else. Where's Smashing Pumpkins?
My favorite Smashing Pumpkins song is off of Stephen Lynch's Superhero, and it's "What If the Guy from Smashing Pumpkins Lost His Keys."
I like Smashing Pumpkins. Like, they're a good band. I mean, like, the typical pick usually is Bullet with Butterfly Wings. That's probably like the go-to song for them. But I like 1979, Cherub Rock. Tonight's a really good one too. They actually do an okay version of Landslide from Fleetwood Mac. It's actually pretty decent, for Billy Corgan at least. But today, it's a good song. I just wouldn't consider it to be like a top anthem in my opinion, but it's a good song.
Kill.
All right, did you expect anything? Did you really?
Did he just shrug?
Yeah. Okay. True or false?
I've never listened to the Smashing Pumpkins that closely.
True or false? Billy Corgan has hair.
True.
At one
False.
point.
False.
At one point he did.
At one point
he did. Right. Current state Billy Corgan, no.
No.
All right, Doug. Let's hear your number 4.
Cool. My number 4 is "Zombies" by the Cranberries. I think this song is a very much anthem for people that are in like war-torn worlds. A lot of people will say the cover's better, but for what this was, I think her vocals are ridiculous. If you play the song, you're gonna have people singing "Zombie, Zombie, Zombie," hey, hey. And then it's like it just gets off. I think this song is absolutely beautiful. It's about basically children of war getting taken and becoming, another cycle of war people. It's if you've ever seen interviews with her about this song, it's incredible the way she talks about it. And I think for it not to be an anthem is crazy. I think a lot of people probably don't think about this song when it comes to anthems, but like I said, I took it from a different perspective. A lot of my list, I took it as like anthems that back people and give people power.
Yeah. I haven't listened to the song a lot like in the last few years, so I had to sort of get myself into like how the Cranberries version is, just because the Bad Wolves version has sort of taken over the radio in the last little while. I personally think that this song should sort of stay in the 90s. I'm not as sold on her vocals. Like, the chorus is great, but it takes her a little bit to get there. I don't like a lot of the choices that she does make, but it is a great message. It is a great anthem. I just think it's sort of lost its value as the years have gone on. I'm not super sold on her vocal wise. The chorus is great, but the rest of it is kind of there's some choices that I don't really like. And I wouldn't even have like a Cranberry song to put a place in it. Zombies definitely the right one, but I think there's I actually would have loved to have heard because she was supposed to be on the Bad Wolves Wolves version, but she had died a few weeks before recording. So I think they ended up giving some of the proceeds of that to her charity or something, which is great. But yeah, this song sort of needs to stay in the 90s. But let's go Zombie. This version, Bad Wolves version, is it an anthem, and is it top 5 worthy?
I'm one of the people that thinks the Bad Wolves version is superior. I think,
of course you do.
I think it has a better intensity to it.
And it's newer.
Okay, Jim. Okay, Jim. No, but I just think the Bad Wolves at this point, I think it's almost a Bad Wolves song more than it's a Cranberry song. It's getting there to the point where people know the Bad Wolves version more. And I think that's because the Bad Wolves did with that, like Disturbed did with The Sound of Silence. They made it their own and did a really cool thing with it. So I definitely think the Bad Wolves version is better. And that would have been the version that would have made my list. But
before anybody gets that, I have to address something. Disturbed's version of Sound of Silence is the most ironic cover because it's literally progresses to them getting louder, and it defeats the purpose of the Sound of Silence. But enough about that. Jim, Jeff, why?
Okay.
I haven't heard the Steppenwolf version or whatever the hell Koho's talking about. I haven't even heard that version. The best version is clearly the a cappella version that Andy Bernard performs for Jim Halpert in The Office, and that's the undisputed version. So that's all I have to say about that.
Andrew in the chat is about to
He's gonna have a conniption.
I need to clarify this for him right now. The Sound of Silence cover by Disturbed is not better than the Simon & Garfunkel, but it's a good cover, and it's doing something different with the song. I think the Bad Wolves version is actually better than the Cranberries by doing something similar but better. Anyway.
Is it, though?
Yeah,
it is. You're just a crotchety old boy from the 90s. It's fine.
As one of those crotchety old boys from the 90s. I'm in the minority. I do like Zombie and I do like the Cranberries. I think Dreams is probably like one of the best songs I think that it really shows her vocal range and really shows just how undervalued of a vocal she was. But Zombie is definitely, I think it, like how many people said, it's definitely kind of like a song of the 90s. Does it really hold today? It's debatable, and I can see why Bad Wolves kind of did like a cover of it, which is fine. I don't consider it great. I don't consider it bad. It's fine.
It's the Bad Wolves version is metalcore at its finest. Like doesn't really venture out too far. If you listen
to like other songs from that band, like they're like it's like a far cry from what they do, really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
All right, they've made good songs. Remember when it's really good. Anyway, Bad Wolves are solid. Check them out.
Sure. Koho, let's hear your 7 through 4.
All right, well, we're going to jump right in at 7. I could have picked any number of Blink-182 songs, but I really stuck on the word defining, so I went with All the Small Things. I think All the Small Things, I think it's not Blink-182's best song, but when you think as soon as it comes on, everyone knows what it is, everyone knows the lyrics, and it gets you hype. You're in the mood all the time whenever that comes on. Just from the late night, come home, work sucks, I know. Like, everyone knows what you're saying because that song is fun, right? See, so
surprises, let me know she cares.
Every like late 90s, early 2000s kid knows that song by heart. So that definitely defines that generation. So there was no way I wasn't going to include Blink-182 on this. So I went with one of my like lesser favorite ones, but I think that one is the one that does define the generation the most.
All right. Before I get to my thoughts, Doug, you had a different Blink-182 song.
Yeah,
First Date.
I had First Date. This was a Warped Tour anthem. Whenever they played Warped Tour, this song is the one that they played. Usually either right on the beginning of the set or as an encore song. This is. Malcolm, you sit your ass down. I said ass this time. Sit your ass down.
Look, you had Tony can't even spell bed. He's that mad. Teeth, jammies. You can watch one episode of Netflix and then go to bed.
One episode of Netflix.
Yeah.
One episode of Netflix and go to bed.
Netflix in general.
You can watch one show on Netflix.
You get one Netflix.
One.
But yeah, all right. Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Just the opening lines from this song, like you know where you're going with it. It's Blink-182 at its finest. This was before this was off the self-titled album, and I think the music video along with it goes great. It's one of my favorite music videos for them. But yeah, it was an anthem for Warped Tour kids. Like if you went to Warped Tour and you saw Blink live, this was the song that you loved from Blink because they went all out with it. It was great. Yeah, sorry.
All right. So, of the two, it's tough, but I think I have to go all the small things. First Date is good, but whenever I hear First Date, I want to listen to Rock Show more. But even with all the small things on there, I would pick Rock Show. I would pick I Miss You. I would pick What's My Age Again. That's one that I really attach with, especially whenever Sue and I started dating, because she's a massive Blink-182 fan. But yeah, all the small things is just like it's somewhere in the sort of what's like Blitzkrieg Bop, where I think that was a defining song for like 2000s punk. I think First Date is a good one. It's a better performance by Tom vocally. And I would say like even musically wise, like I think Travis Barker does some more interesting things. But What's My Age Again, I think is just it's a little more catchier. It's not the greatest, but it is the more anthemic song. But let's go over to Jim and Jeff. Why didn't you have Blink-182 and all the small things? First Dates. Which one are we picking here?
Jeff?
Between First Day and all the small things, I think I'm leaning a little more toward First Day. I mean, coming from a drummer's perspective, that song is fun to play on drums, but both of them picked the wrong Blink-182 song, in my opinion. Once My Age Again is worlds better, I think, than both of them in many ways. But I think one of the more underrated songs from them is going to be Online Songs. That song is just amazing.
Out of the two Blink-182 songs that have been presented, I think All the Small Things is the one that I think of first when I'm thinking about that band.
Yeah,
that's it. Oh, and that weird reality show that Travis Barker was on with his wife in like 2002.
Yeah, Meet the Barkers.
Oh God, yes.
Meet the Barkers was a great show.
And then they got divorced.
Like every MTV reality show couple.
I think those were at the same time. Nick Lachey and Jessica Simpson had their.
Yep.
And then Dave Navarro and Carmen Electra had their show.
Oh,
I see him picking for the win.
I don't know what's going on.
Let's change this to
show was good.
So Caleb, MTV is a channel.
Yeah, I know. It's one with Trevor Noah on the morning show and all the washed up people with the cribs, whatever. That's what that is, right? Yeah. Okay, moving on.
Yeah.
What?
That's what MTV is, right?
You just combine two
I don't know what
networks.
just happened.
I don't know what's on MTV anymore.
All right, Caleb, what's your number 6?
My number 6 is Sugar We're Going Down by Fall Out Boy. That's the band I doubled up on because I think Fall Out Boy has the best and most definitive anthems of the 21st century so far for rock.
Number 6.
But I think Sugar We're Going Down is the most definitive one. Just from the opening riff, you know what the song is, you understand it, and you can sing along to it. And it's sort of that voice for every 2000s kid that really just listened to Under the Cork Tree, and that was the song that they latched onto. And so yeah, I went with Fall Out Boy. Guys, buckle up. There's still at least one more 2000s rock song coming, if you know me. So yeah.
All right. This is the Fall Out Boy song. If you were to put any on this list, I think 6 is probably the most ideal spot. It's definitely my favorite Fall Out Boy song. I would consider it. I actually have it in my me and 50 songs, because it's just one that I've attached with as well. I would also accept Dance Dance is fine, but I think this one. I think why this one is superior to Dance Dance because it has that better story, and you can go you can't really sing along with Dance Dance verse wise, but the minute you go from the "Am I more than you bargained for?" It's well paced that you can really belt it out from the from the crowd. But why I'm really surprised Doug and Jim. Jeff, I understand because he's old.
I have my reasons. No, I'll tell you.
Jeff thinks Fall Out Boy is a bad band because they came out with music after 2000.
Whoa.
Hold on a minute. Let me talk in a minute. Let everybody else talk.
Doug?
Why I don't have Fall Out Boy? I could have put him on this list, but I was trying to be semi-balanced when it came to anthems. This is a very easy pick for anthems. It's got some of the most iconic pop punk kind of music tropes that you can do. Me and my band used to do a cover of this song, and it was, as the kids say, slaps.
The fact that you can cover it says it's a definitive rock anthem. Oh my god. Okay.
That's not true. That's not true. Listen, there's pop punk bands that are getting covered right now, or math rock bands that are getting covered right now that are not doing rock anthems. But no, I have nothing bad to say about the song. The music video is one of my favorite music videos they've ever done. It's great. But yeah, no, I couldn't find space for it. I was gonna probably say my 11, maybe.
Jim?
Okay, Jim.
I just didn't put it on there because I didn't feel like it.
Okay,
You bitch.
so piggybacking off of Koho and also Doug, my old man moment right now. Back when I was in a band and played guitar and sang in a band, we did a cover of this song as well. So yes, me singing Fall Out Boy. Yeah, I don't mind the song. I'm done hearing this song though, because we played it every single show we did. I can play this song in my sleep at this point, and I'm done listening to this song. I'm done listening to The Middle by Jimmy Eat World, and I'm done listening to Check Yes Juliet by We the Kings. I'm done with these songs.
That's fair. I can honestly agree with two of those.
I can agree with two of those.
Yes.
What I cannot.
Yeah,
I can live without ever hearing Check Yes Juliet again.
Yes.
True.
All right. Let's go
And
now
Andrew
to...
Barr, you're not wrong.
Wait, what do you say?
Andrew Barr, you're not wrong. Neck deep slaps.
It's true.
It does. All right. Let's hear your number 5.
Hey, Jeff, you're gonna be proud of me. More Than a Feeling by Boston is my 5. So this is another one that I picked that's kind of much older than me. But the song itself like defines that era when I think of like late 70s rock, maybe even a little bit in the early 70s. I think of More Than a Feeling by Boston. I think everyone knows the song. It's one of the most, I think, definitive classic sort of rock anthems that you can get. To the point where we can play this at a high school football game and everyone just can sing along to it. So, yeah, I think More Than a Feeling belongs on the top 5 just based on definitive. If that's the topic Brooklyn gave me, was definitive rock anthems. So that's my 5.
Yeah, so this is not the right Boston song to put on this list.
Shit.
Foreplay/long time is the correct anthem for rock anthems. One of the greatest intros ever, and that's up. And I'm putting that up there with Hotel California. And then long time has a great chorus like, well, I'm taking my time, just moving on. And there's some
after I've been gone.
And I think that song in particular is a great example of how Boston has really good harmony. This one is overplayed. It's cheesy. The opening riff is simple and straightforward. I picked it up on a whim. I was just sort of picking along on the guitar, and I'm like, oh, I just somehow learned the riff to More Than a Feeling. It's like, cool. It's not doing anything really special.
It's
and
still
dope.
And
it's not simple. It's not dope though.
Yes, it is.
You think it's dope because you think it's 40 years old, and it's like man, it's so vintage.
If you think I care about vintage old rock songs, you're not watching what my list has been this episode. Crotchety big Canadian boss man up in PEI. Go take the piss out of other rock songs, you crotchety old fart.
Fight.
I love it because my headache's going away.
But yeah, Koho, you made the wrong Boston pick. It is foreplay/long time. I'll go to Jeff first as to why I am right, why he agrees with me. But yeah, and then after that, Jim and Doug, why didn't you have Boston on?
Yeah, so More Than a Feeling from Boston. Yeah, this was like one of like the first songs I learned on guitar. All you have to do is just mess around with the D chord a little bit, and then you got it. And then the solo is pretty simple, but the song itself is still good. It's not the worst Boston song. It's a good song. I love Boston. Brad Delp, I think, is one of the most amazing vocalists to ever come near a microphone. He has just amazing pipes. But yeah, I would have definitely gone Foreplay a long time. Even Don't Look Back at this point. But More Than a Feeling is still a good song, but not the best Boston song.
Yeah, I would even take Amanda over More Than a Feeling.
Ooh, that's a good one.
I'm sorry that I made a list that people are going to at least recognize the names of the songs being brought up, guys.
Just because they're recognizable doesn't mean that they're good.
The topic you gave me was definitive, and I picked the list of the best definitive rock songs. Sorry, no one knows who the hell Pantera is.
You could have said some really off.
You could have said I was going to say everybody knows who Pantera is.
Obscure band. You said Pantera.
And you also have Pexton on the panel. Of course, he has to know what Pantera is.
Like Walk's not an iconic song.
All right, Jim. Why wasn't Boston on your list?
Because they're not the right old man band for me.
Not sure.
And Doug.
I'm gonna just copy what Jim said because it's hilarious. Copy paste.
That's honestly fair. That's a fair statement I can get behind. But if I have to sit here and listen to Brooklyn go, but the D chord is terrible. I'm gonna literally just go leave. Both of you can leave. God.
Also,
the early bird is at 4:00. I can wait a bit yet.
Yeah. Garth is maintaining that hot streak. Fact checking me. More Than a Feeling is actually 43 years old. Fucking yikes. So we're now over to Jeff's 7 through 4. Oh, you're 4. Sorry. Let's hear what pre-2000 song you have for this one for your vintage.
You think we're going pre-2000? To the year 2006. To the greatest concept album ever made, and Jeff will know because I bitch slapped him with it. Welcome to the Black Parade by My Chemical Romance is the definitive 2000s rock song. The definitive 2000s rock song. You play just the first note on the piano and everyone knows what that song is. Everyone. The entire way that it brings the whole crux of that story of the album together, and even on its own, just the progression of that song, like instrumentally, lyrically, like everyone knows the song. They can sing along to that song. Welcome to the Black Parade is the MCR song that I had to pick because it's the definitive one.
Because you're Koho?
I was gonna, if I picked my own personal favorite, I'd go to Danger Days and take Na 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 because that's a way more fun rock anthem. But still, Welcome to the Black Parade has to be in your top 5. Has to be.
Kaleb, I've been going through your list. You had some picks, and then you totally redeemed yourself by throwing on "Welcome to the Black Parade." This is an emo rock staple. You and I have talked in lengths about this and how this is such an important song and one that carries on especially for this generation, this gap, and especially with mental health awareness sort of being on the rise. So it has the keys, it has the themes to a good rock anthem. It has great music. It has different movements, and it has great lyricism. It has great message. I've watched bands try to cover this song, and good luck get into that last chorus because by the time you get into that last chorus, your vocal cords are quite sore, and you have a lot of work to do in that last chorus. There's a lot of rage going on there with Gerard Way. The fact that none of you have this even on your list, not as much of a crime as American Pie, but I'm not mad. I'm disappointed in all of you. But why? I'm curious to hear why you don't have one of the greatest 2000 songs on your list.
I'll go first. I don't think it's their best song.
Fact.
I think it's a great song by them. It is not my favorite song by them. It is their first official single. I'm Not Okay is a song that everyone knows, and it's a song about being a reject. It's a song about being the outcast, like they say in the music video. It's about mental health and being okay with not being okay. Black Parade's a great song. I will give you that. It's a great song. But I don't think it's the correct rock anthem when it comes to My Chemical Romance.
That's honestly fair.
Everybody's allowed to be wrong.
My favorite Gerard Way work would be the adapted from the graphic novel that he wrote, The Umbrella Academy, season 2 coming soon on Netflix. Since I cannot put that on this list, then I decided to leave Gerard Way works off of the list.
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, no, it's okay. I don't hate My Chemical Romance. I like My Chemical Romance. And I mean, kind of piggybacking off of Doug, it's not the best song from them. I think I'm Not Okay, I Promise. I'd even go Helena or The Ghost of You is a good one too.
Great.
Yeah.
Famous Last Words would also be another one that I would allow.
I personally like other songs on the Black Parade more, like Dead and Disenchanted, but
Dead's really good.
Yeah, my favorite song off of Black Parade is not a rock anthem in any sort, but it's because I have the most personal connection to it, and it's Cancer.
Yeah,
Cancer is amazing.
You heard it here.
Hey,
Brooklyn, you cut off.
And the memes start in 3, 2, 1.
I swear to God, there we go. God fucking damn it! No, this bike's getting worse and worse. Yeah, I've asked. Actually, no, I haven't asked anybody to clip that because nobody will clip this ugly face. But Jeff, let's hear your 7 through 4.
All right, here we go. Let's get it out of the way first. You go to a concert, you hear some drunk asshole in the back screaming a song, "Freebird" from Lynyrd Skynyrd. I mean, I think this is like the true defining like Southern rock song. Most people would say, "Oh, Sweet Home Alabama." No, I think this is the true song from them that truly defines who they are as like a Southern band. Like you have like that like Rhodes gospel-y piano in the beginning, and then it just kind of builds off of that with that nice acoustic, and you really hear Ronnie Van Zant's vocals coming in really, really nicely too. And then by the end, it's just like, you know what, we're a Southern rock band. Let's crank the tempo up on this bitch, and let's get it going with a blistering guitar solo. And it creates probably one of the most iconic songs anyone can ever look to. You could be some shitty cover band that anybody could. Love you, Scully.
Scully, you're the best. I love you.
You could be any shitty cover band. Everybody will ask you to play Freebird. If you can play Freebird in its full 10-minute glory,
oh my
go
God,
for it, Haas.
Oh God.
All right, so kind of, I guess for this list, a hot-ish take. I would consider this more of like a headbanger than an anthem. The lyrics are sort of like this is a music sandwich essentially. It's like a good music in the beginning, a great solo in the end, and then you have some lyrics in the middle that are kind of just meh. Personally, if it was up to me, I would honestly go Simple Man. I think Simple Man has a good balance of it. Freebird is a great song, and I think it's one of the greatest endings actually with Hotel California with that solo. But it's more of a headbanger than I would say than an anthem. It's a good one to sort of jam out to and dance, not necessarily sing. But I kind of understand if I'm in the minority, but I'm curious to hear what everybody else has to say. Jim,
joke's on you, Scully. I know Freebird because of Rock Band.
Freebird is actually on Guitar Hero 2 first.
Freebird is awesome. I do like that song. But since we keep bringing up covers at this point, Simple Man, Shinedown version is really good.
Yo.
That's all. That's my 2 cents on that. Instead of being a dick about Lynyrd Skynyrd.
Oh, I'm not going to be a dick. I contemplated putting this song on my list because it's one of the original graduation songs. My mom was telling me when she graduated from high school, she was like, you know what my high school graduation song was? I was like, what? She was like, Freebird. I was like,
that graduation, a 10-minute graduation song? Let's all stay in silence and listen to Freebird for 10 minutes.
numbers. Hey, I'm not hating that. Imagine like the marching band getting involved in it. They bring an electric guitar. Yes.
That'd be the dopest graduation ever. I'm not gonna lie. Can they get the guitar that has the fire coming out of it when they walk?
The fire from Fury Road guitar. No, I think this movie. I think this song's great. Yeah, no, it's fine on the list. I contemplate putting it on mine.
All right. And Koho, why? Well, I mean, have you heard of Freebird before Kingsman?
Yes. And it's not that good. Let's calm down. Freebird being Freebird's fine, but like Lynyrd Skynyrd had no chance in hell of making the top 10 best rock anthems of all time. Sorry, no
Koho,
chance in hell.
Right after the show,
Caleb
Teeth and Jammies.
Coho.
Fall Out Boy has 2 great rock anthems, and you're just old.
All right, you're tired. You're tired. The blue hair must be affecting things.
Okay, okay, Grandpa, you're gonna sit there and tell me what a D chord tastes like? Go away.
What a D chord tastes like.
Suck on the guitar a little bit more. Jesus Christ.
So Jeff, you're 6.
What a seg. I like
# transitions.
All right, number 6. This is the song everybody knows the riff to, but they get confused on who it's actually by. It's not by Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton's in this song. It is Layla by Derek and the Dominoes. God damn, you guys for no yikes on this one. This song is just such a... You'll know the song when you hear it, go. Don't worry.
That's the only way I'm going to know this song.
You've not heard of this song?
I'm with Jim. I have no idea what the fuck he's talking about, which means it's already a bad pick.
Oh,
okay,
good God.
Both of you. Okay, no. What the fuck? Sorry, I gotta stop here. Jeff, can I pause for a second?
Go for it.
Jim and Caleb, you are both on trial. What the fuck is going on here that you don't know one of the greatest rock songs ever? The fact that you don't know it or the acoustic version from Eric Clapton's MTV Unplugged version is even worse. One of the greatest riffs ever. Sure, the piano part at the end sucks and doesn't really make any sense into it. But how? Koho, you're on a classic rock station, and Jim, you have a good good-ish taste of music. Exactly.
Still don't know what this is, but the classic rock station. Here's the reason: the classic rock station does not play it because it's not a definitive rock song or not good. That's why it's not popular.
And it's not popular.
A fun fact: we do play "Sugar We're Going Down" by Fall Out Boy. So fuck you.
So I do know the song, but that's one I would be like, I know it if I hear it. I wouldn't know that that's Layla by Derek and the.
I was gonna say most people know it as like Eric and
the
Clapton, because Eric Clapton did a thing with Derek and the Dominoes. So
I think to sort of go off on a bit of tangent, the reason why they were called Derek and the Dominoes is because
the pizza place?
No, the announcer misheard them. The announcer asked them off stage, "What is your name?" And he said, "Eric of the Dominoes." He was like, "Oh, cool, Derek of the Dominoes," and they just stuck with it. But I'm sorry to intrude. I had to smack some sense into Beavis and fucking Butthead.
I feel like I've seen that in a comic book movie type situation before, Brooklyn. Human spider. The human spider.
Can I talk again? Cool. All right, yeah, I mean, kind of like piggybacking off of it, it has such an iconic riff, it's like, as soon as you hear like that guitar coming in, Clapton's vocals just soaring over, and the ending, I mean, you're not the biggest fan of the piano. I think the piano works pretty nicely there. The lap steel guitar over top of it, though, that just kind of like adds a whole new thing and really gives it a new sort of like breath to it. It kind of, in going off what you said before with Freebird, it's kind of like that musical sandwich. I like it in a way. So
yeah, but yeah, I find like to sort of go back onto that whole like the piano steel guitar riff thing. It seems like its own separate thing. And it like I would love if they integrated that into the song like beforehand, because once they because like before they transition to that, I'm sort of ready for the song to be over. But I mean, Caleb and Jim don't know what the song is, so Doug, please tell me that you know what the song is and that you at least appreciate it.
I do appreciate it. It's some of my favorite Eric Clapton kind of like work outside of his own work. I do appreciate the acoustic version a little bit more. I just think it's kind of like it's that kind of song where it kind of made a perfect transition to acoustic for some reason. Because you get the whole Layla, electric feel, and it's like super overwhelming. But when he tears it down and makes an acoustic, it's beautiful. It's seriously beautiful. I don't hate this song. I understand why it's on his list. I definitely do, because it's very much right up his alley, so it makes sense. It very much does.
Yeah. Well, I don't need to go to Kaleb and Jim, because they're just gonna be broken records upon whenever I go to them.
What generation did this define? Because
it defined it defined the 60s and the 70s. This is like
the people who own my station are from the 60s and 70s, and they don't play it. So obviously, not definitive enough.
Your parents also didn't know "You Can Call Me Al" by Paul Simon, one of the greatest songs of the 80s. So
it's not a good song. Sorry.
I take your opinion with a grain of salt, good sir. Jeff, let's hear your number 5.
All right, tell me more about how a C chord makes you orgasm. All right.
What?
Fucking every time you bring up the notes and shit, go away.
He jumped from D chord to C chord now.
Well, that escalated quickly. But Jeff, you're 5.
What's your definition of uncomfortable, audience?
There was an episode where
somebody makes a G chord reference. That's where I'll be uncomfortable.
There was an episode where someone we don't talk about talked about showgirls for about 30 minutes in the most uncomfortable way. That's the ceiling. Continue.
Oh yeah, I was on that show.
Going back to number 5, by the way.
Poor Jeff over here.
Poor me. Let's go across the pond to jolly old England, and let's go with probably one of the best metal bands of all time in Black Sabbath, and let's go Paranoid.
Nice.
Was that a yikes or a nice?
No, that was a nice.
Okay,
Sorry.
He said nice. I said that's fair.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
what?
Have you heard of them?
Yes, I have.
But most people would say like, oh, Iron Man's here.
Classic rock station.
Iron Man is more just kind of like a slower, kind of a slog to get through. With Paranoid, you're getting like a 3.5 minute session of just like let's get it rocking, let's get it bumping and going. The bass line is just thundering throughout the entire way. You have probably the best vocals you've heard from Ozzy Osbourne. This is probably his magnum opus in terms of vocal range, and then with Tony Iommi's solo, it's just gorgeous. It's just such a good song from Black Sabbath. Absolutely a defining anthem.
I'm sorry. Cody
just ran out of the stands and dunked on Brooklyn so hard he broke the hoop.
Cody telling me to calm down, Grandpa, is the textbook definition of the pot calling the kettle black. But sorry, Jeff. The
difference is he doesn't get mad when someone tells him that a G chord is actually a C chord.
Go ahead. It's your take.
Oh, sorry. I thought you had more to say.
No, I'm done. I'm saying this is dead air.
All right, I like Paranoid by Black Sabbath. I would disagree with you in that it's Ozzy's best vocal performance. I would personally take War Pigs over Paranoid. But I love the riff of this. It pushes, it keeps the tempo going without it being chaotic. There's even that controversy of the last lyric. Is it end your life? Is it enjoy life? It's good. There needs to be sort of that like Black Sabbath, Iron Maiden-y neck of the woods of metal / thrash metal. And it's good. I can't fault you for having it at 5. But Doug, Jim, Koho, why don't you have Black Sabbath on here?
I could have picked him. I just I'm not the biggest Black Sabbath fan, but I understand it. I get the love for Ozzy. He's one of the best, so I can't be mad about it. Paranoid was the right pick. So
yeah, I kind of agree with Koho, which is a shocker. But yeah, I really like Ozzy, which Small spoiler: I didn't have a Black Sabbath or Ozzy Osbourne song on my list, even though like I really love Ozzy and a lot of his songs. So, but it's just we can only put so much on the list.
Doug?
No, I like the song a lot. I just like I said, I couldn't find a spot for some people that I wanted to put on, and Black Sabbath just happened to be one of those. I would have probably went with Crazy Train, though. That's kind of like one of my favorite songs from them.
So that's
Trevor's solo career.
That is right. Sorry.
No,
I am
it's a headache. We got you.
Sounds good.
Hey, Brooklyn, who let the dogs out, by the way? Oh,
Baja Man?
You see what I did there? Okay.
Yeah,
I'm here all
right.
the Vail.
Nice. All right, Jeff, let's go to your number 4.
Number 4, we're going back. We're staying in England again, guys. We're going with probably one of the quintessential bands from like the 60s into the 70s with their best song, in my opinion. From The Who, Baba O'Reilly. This song, to say what the young kids say, this song slaps, kids. This song is just awesome. I mean, like, as soon as you hear that, like, piano, like organ type intro, and then it hits in with the with the piano, it's like that just it just feels so good. And then the song just keeps going on from there with the drums, and then with the vocals, the guitars. It's a kind of like with Born to Run. It has lyrics that anybody can kind of relate to and anybody can kind of associate with. It works really well in that sense, and I think it's one of the standing tests of time for songs, especially for The Who. Probably their best song.
This is sort of the same thing when we talked about Freebird. More of a headbanger. There's some great music. There's some great music things going on in here. The piano / electric, like the keyboard work is great. And the guitar work is great. There isn't enough lyrics, I find, for this for it to feel as an anthem for me. I would personally go "Who Are You?" Or Tony mentioned Pinball Wizard is another good one. But I totally understand why it's at 4. I also wasn't like the biggest Who fan. Going on with it, I was more attached to like the Beatles, and even I don't even say the Rolling Stones more than the Who. But I know that there are some diehard Who fans in the community. But let's go to the rest of the panel.
Fun fact, out of the Who songs, this is the one that is the theme song for CSI New York. CSI New York was Baba O'Reilly, starring Gary Sinise. This is the one I watched the most of. It was really entertaining. But yeah, it's the same thing as Black Sabbath. I like the Who. I really like their songs that lead CSI shows to begin, and Pinball Wizard. But yeah, it's just only so many spots.
Doug, Caleb.
I'm not. Oh, go ahead, Doug.
I love the song. I just don't. I'm kind of. It's kind of that and Pinball Wizard are my go-to for the Who. And it was hard to choose, but no, good choice.
I don't like the Who. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, they're okay. It's not for me.
I can.
But I will say I consider Pinball Wizard to be more of an Elton John song now than a Who song. So I wouldn't have picked Pinball Wizard at all. But I think that song is good. So it's the best one that the Who's ever recorded. But it's made better by Elton John singing it. So.
For shame. I actually think that's one of Elton John's worst covers and worst songs. Plus, let's go over to Jim now for his 7 through 4.
My number 7 is One by Metallica.
Oh my god, good song.
Yeah. This is like a fun fact. When asked about what they thought the greatest song in the world was, call back to tribute, they said Tenacious D said One by Metallica, which. This is one of those songs that, as a youngin listening to songs downloaded from questionable file sharing sites, it's one that you get that like Metallica mix, and then you get it, and it's got like all the it's got like Enter Sandman, and then Enter Sandman like 10 more times, and then you're like, oh, what's the song 1? And then it's like 7 minutes, and it sticks out really well because there's like the story of it. It's about. I'm very bad at remembering these things with lyrics because I suck with them. But it's about a soldier, I believe, and he's going into battle and he gets hurt or something, and he goes blind and gets blown up by something. Yeah, it's just a really good song, and it progresses into stuff, and yeah, it's really good, and I like it.
Yeah. I think this song needs a massive thank you to Guitar Hero 3 for it to show it to our generation. Definitely has a lot of help there. I think what separates this from the Freebird is that I think it's paced between like the times where they sort of show off the musicality of the band to the lyricism, and I think everybody, when it comes to that, and then it has like darkness imprisoning me, all that I see, absolute horrors, I cannot live, I cannot die, and it's just like I think that's where the anthem part really kicks in. Seven is fine. I would even accept like seven through 10. Anything higher, I would sort of shrug my shoulders. But there was no other Metallica. I would actually even consider Master of Puppets as a better selection over one because of just if you ever watch a live performance of that, how it gets the crowd going. But how do you guys feel about Metallica and One?
Piggybacking off of Healed in the comments, Napster was the original thing. Bless you. I like One by Metallica. This is a great song, and the story in it, it's actually based off of a book called Johnny Got His Gun. I actually remember reading that in high school. But yeah, I love Metallica's music. One is probably one of their best songs that they've done. I would probably go like Master Puppets or even Ride the Lightning. I think those are like my personal favorites. But this is a solid pick, though. Really good pick.
Doug, Caleb?
Oh, okay. I think this is probably a perfect pick for Metallica. If you're not going to do this, I would do Enter the Sandman. That's kind of really iconic. If you ask anybody, they sing the chorus really, like everybody chants the chorus with them. But One it's probably one of their best musically written songs. And it's probably one of my favorite concept songs. Because the message is really clear. It's about a soldier that's in a coma fighting for his life. And it's like, I think it's great.
Metallica is sort of in that place where like they have so many songs to pick from, but based on Brooklyn's list or definition of those for me of taking what's a definitive Metallica song for like a generation, I would have gone probably with either For Whom the Bell Tolls or Master of Puppets. I think those are basic picks, but I think One's the best song of those three from Metallica, but I think if I'm going with definitive, probably would have gone For Whom the Bell Tolls. But yeah, I just couldn't bump. I didn't want to bump anything from that Metallica song because I don't love For Whom the Bell Tolls as much as I like the other ones.
All right, let's go to your number 6.
My number 6, according to this Word document that I have pulled up, is it's "Don't Stop Believing" by Journey.
Yikes!
Of course, it's a yikes from Kaleb Koho.
Yeah, it is.
Okay, so we just go to my number 5, which I would be shocked if this gets yikes. It's "Put Your Money on Me" by the Struts. The Struts are the most criminally underrated band right now. If they were around in the early 2000s or even the 80s, they would have been like one of the biggest bands in the world. This is off of their first album from 2012 called Everybody Wants. Yeah, you get it. Everybody Wants the Struts. You get it. And this is just a really, really great song that it's just it really has that anthem feel to where it's really easy to sing along to in the middle. It's got that kind of like sound to where, I mean, you could really think of it and you're just like, this is a song of summer and this is like an anthem that you would just like hear at like a festival, even though I despise festivals. Fuck those. But this is definitely like a festival song, and I heard it. I first heard it when they opened for the Foo Fighters during this concert. So I heard it outside and kind of like an outside, and I was like, this song is incredible, and the crowd got really into it. So yeah, it holds a special place for me.
I tried listening to the song for this list. It's not my cup of tea, which is surprising because Jim and I usually agree on a lot of things musically wise. this is probably like your personal pick of the list, and I think Cody allows one of those for every list. So I'll let it pass. I don't have anything really to comment on it. I've never really listened to the Struts. I'm sure if you threw them on, I could sort of recognize the band. They're sort of similar to like Shine Downy, and that's sort of that sort of era of 2000s alt rock. But Jeff, Doug, Caleb, have any of you heard of the Struts? Are any of you familiar with the song, and does it deserve to be in the discussion of rock anthems?
Yeah, I'm not familiar with it. I just tried to play it on my Spotify, see if I've maybe heard the song. I have not heard the song, but yeah, I will give them a full listen though.
I think this is Jim's cheat pick. I think he's allowed to make a pick. I mean, if we're going with definitive, like Brooklyn told me, I keep saying it because it looks like a lot of people went with different directions on the list. But I don't think this is definitive. I think this is just probably a good song that Jim likes, which is fine.
Hey, you put 2 Fall Out Boy songs on there.
And both of them are definitive. The one that I put on my list that's not definitive is the one Panic song, which is a whole big ass cheat. Yes, they are. Brooklyn, you're 80. You literally you do not know what's definitive and what's not. You literally thought Freebird was excellent. Go away.
Oh, God.
Sit down.
Sit down, Brooklyn. Don't come to me with fire when you can't back it up.
You just sit down with that Freebird hot take.
So I've heard of the Struts. So I've heard the song. I'm not the craziest fan of them, but I can respect them. I mean, they're not one who I'm gonna be like rushing to put on all the time. But I know the song, and the song is fine. I think the song is good. I wouldn't call it a definitive anthem, but if we're going off a personal pick, I mean, Jim loves it. Go for it, man.
All right, Jim. Let's hear your number 4.
My number 4 is my Kaleb Koho pick of my list, and it's These Days by Foo Fighters off of Wasting Light, which, as Brooklyn very well knows, is my favorite album by the Foo Fighters. There's a lot of songs by the Foo Fighters that are like, you could say they're more definitive when you think of the Foo Fighters, but I just wanted to go with this one because it's off of my favorite album. And Walk was the obvious pick from the album. So, again, this had to be my hipster pick. It was a single and did get a music video. Kaleb Koho, that's what they played on, like, MTV, was these, like, instead of YouTube, those were on, like, MTV. It did get a music video, so it was a single towards the end of the album's run. And, again, it's mostly based on, kind of like with the Struts song. It's like, it just has that anthem-y sound to me, and I just really loved the song and the music video.
I think it's safe to say that you and I are the biggest Foo Fighters fans in this community. So when I saw this on your list, I was curious to hear why you put it on here. I understand. You're totally right. Where Walk is the obvious choice for me personally. If we're going off of that album alone, I would personally go with Dear Rosemary. I get a more anthemic feel, and I get more of the general feels of that song. There's some really good vocal work in that. But if we're talking Foo Fighters in general, there's at least 5 more that I would have picked. I would have picked my hero, The Best of You, Monkey Wrench, The Pretender, All My Life, and I know you and I have like different.
Oh, we're live. That's the song.
I even like I know that I'm sort of indifferent on Everlong. A lot of people think Everlong is Foo Fighters' best song, but I disagree. But none of you have Foo Fighters on here, which saddens me. I'm not disappointed. I'm sad because you guys go Koho. I understand because he doesn't appreciate Foo Fighters, but Jeff and Doug know better.
I like 2 Foo Fighters songs that I've listened to in the time since.
Are they called? Is one of them called Hallelujah?
No.
Yikes. Jim gets it. Doug, why didn't you have Foo Fighters on here?
All right, so I'm going to cop out the same way Koho cop out with a lot of these answers. There's a lot of Foo Fighters, and I couldn't choose. I really couldn't. There's a lot. The ones you named, I love Learn to Fly. Monkey Wrench is a great song. And Foo Fighters, through their entire career, has built up multiple anthems. It's not like there's been one. You start playing Everlong, people know what it is. You start playing Monkey Wrench, people know what it is. Learn to Fly, it's got one of the greatest. I thought you were gonna go with Learn to Fly because Tenacious D reference earlier. I was like,
It was too obvious.
it was. My Hero is one of my favorite songs from them. They have so much, and it's a cop out, but they really did have a lot, and I couldn't pick one.
Kind of piggybacking off of that, yeah. I mean, like I love the Foo Fighters. I love their music. If I was gonna go off of Wasting Light's album, I should have known it's probably one of my favorites off of there, along with Dear Rosemary. But yeah, it's really hard to pick one song from the Foo Fighters, and like I had them kind of like sitting outside of like my 10. I really love Times Like These. I think that's like kind of like in the same realm of Good Riddance. It's like that good, perfect graduation song. And I'm a big fan of Summer's End from Echo, Silence, Patience, and Grace. That's probably one of my favorites from them.
Summer's End is good. Garth, your streak comes to an end. The Sky is a Neighborhood is not a great Foo Fighters song. It is fair at best. Yeah. Kaleb, I'm curious to hear why you
quick thing. Brooklyn Foo Fighters songs are like pizza and sex. It's like, I mean, even bad ones. It's like it's still a Foo Fighters song.
It's so good.
Even when it's bad, it's still good. I mean,
fair.
Make that a t-shirt.
I have listened to 2 Foo Fighters songs, and they are Learn to Fly and Monkey Wrench. So I am working my way into it because you have told me they are the greatest thing to ever happen on God's green earth and that they will make me a superhero if I listen to them. So I will try to, and I'm working on it. But I am a product of the 2000s, very much so. So I've got an MCR show to get ready for it September 1st.
This seems like you're reading off of a script right now. Like you had this prepared.
But actually, what Brooklyn is lipping along as you hear because he sent me a script to read because there's a red dot on my forehead if I say the wrong thing about the Foo Fighters.
Oh, so you forgot to read the breath part.
The Foo Fighters have like 5 albums come out after 2000, Koho. Fuck off.
Yeah, but they're not like a 2000s band.
Yes, they are. Their best work is their best work is in the 2000s.
Their most popular songs come from like late 90s.
Their best. Okay, whatever.
Don't bother, Brooklyn. Don't even bother.
You've wasted all my argument HP earlier, so I'm drained. Seriously, but Kaleb, let's go to number 3. Let's hear it.
Now we're just going one by one.
All right.
You mean me?
Yeah.
Wait, do you mean me?
No, sorry. Yeah, Doug.
All right. So my number 3 is Losing My Religion by R.E.M. This song is amazing. The vocals in this work in this song is ridiculous. The music video that goes along with this, it has very much it's an incredible song. It's when I was talking about 90s songs earlier with Smashing Pumpkins, this is the quintessential like 90s band when it comes to like songs that you listen to. People have tried to do covers of it. It's never going to sound as good as he did. And the lyrics alone, you start singing this, people are going to sing along because it's that iconic. It's that much of an anthem for going on, carrying on. Very much through my whole list. My whole list is a go on, carry on list of anthems. I think this is a really phenomenal song. This is one of my favorite songs of all time.
Bravo, Doug. Bravo. Great song. Great song at number 3. This is one of my favorite songs to perform. This is in my set list if I ever do shows. Nobody has REM as their favorite bands ever. I think the only person I've ever heard that has REM as like one of their favorite bands is maybe Jeremy Adams.
Boatman has it pretty up there, I think.
Possibly, but everybody knows Losing My Religion, and it's not to the point where it's like overplayed and it's like bad but catchy at the same time. It's catchy, it's good, it has great lyrics, it has great song. You can pack so much emotion into it, and it's a great anthem. 3 is a touch high. I think, but I understand because I think like you're the same age as myself, Jeff and Jim, where like that mid to late 90s has some it's a mix of nostalgia, but you also listen to, but like you are also like kind of in that right age where it isn't like, oh, I remember from listening to it as a kid, but why doesn't Losing My Religion? I mean, Koho, I understand because he probably
this song is freaking great, and I'm an REM fan. So
So then why is it on your list?
Because I don't consider it a rock anthem that hard. Like I guess I didn't go straight to it. That's my problem. Is I didn't jump straight to that. I didn't go right to that conclusion. To me, REM is like they're one of my favorites. And Losing My Religion is a great pick. I'm a little mad that I don't have it because I should. But I personally like Man on the Moon better. I think that song's a better song. But Losing My Religion is an excellent pick and the correct pick if you're making a definitive rock anthems list. So I can't be mad at this pick at all. I agree with it. I'm a little upset that I don't have it. So,
Jim?
I don't hate REM, but I just they didn't occur to me to put on the list.
Jeff?
Pretty much the same. I'm kind of mad I didn't think about this song. I didn't really consider it like a definitive song, but I really love this song. It's one of my favorites to perform to whenever I do a set list. I think the song needs way more mandolin. It's a perfect use of a mandolin in a song. But this is an amazing pick. I mean, Man on the Moon better than this, though? I don't know about that one.
The mandolin part for the song is so fun. It's so fun to play.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. All right. Now we go over to Caleb's 3.
When we say definitive anthems that define generations, there is only one generation of people named after a song, and that would be the All-Star generation. I don't know a single person my age who, as soon as I say the words, somebody once told me the world is going to roll me, who cannot finish those lyrics. It is a song that I think everyone knows. It became a meme, but that doesn't mean it's not a good song. That doesn't mean it's not a recognizable song. And if I'm picking a song that defines a generation and fits definitive, All-Star number 3 makes a lot of sense.
All right. This is the exception of a song. I wouldn't say it's a great song, but it's the guilty pleasure, I guess, of rock anthems. Everybody and their mother knows the words to this. It's been like I wouldn't say it's overplayed, but it's used just enough. Obviously, it's used in Shrek, not the inferior of Shrek 2, but yeah. I enjoy it. It's catchy. It's not great, but it's not awful. But it's one that everybody can belt out from start to finish. And that is an anthem within itself.
I can already see Jeff looking at me with such disgust. He's like, "You think this is rock?" Back in my day, Mick Jagger was the only person who could tell you what rock was with those fucking hits all over the stage. That's all I can see on him right now. Okay, Boomer.
This was my number 10, by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
Jim,
Jim, let's go to your number 10.
For this, I will do a short poem reading. I shed tears as though onions were peeling, whose scent is impressed by this overbearing ceiling, when I witnessed the wonder of his healing. No one word can describe my love, as longingly watch his romp, about in his vast and mighty swamp. He leaves through my window like the dove in the wake of his departure delivered to me is a powerful and pungent onion odor. And oh, how I can plainly see it will never be ogre. Shrek is love. Shrek is
love. Shrek is life.
And that is all I have to say.
Doug?
I like Jim's explanation of the song better than I like Caleb's.
I should have literally, my answer for why it's on my list should have just been the transcript to Shrek is love, Shrek.
No, I don't. I get it. I very much get it. It's a song that everybody knows, and it's and it gets stuck in your head. They have the guy that does the cover of this song over other songs. I actually know him personally. He lives in my state. He used to play in a band that I used to play with, and it's great. But it's so meme worthy anymore. It's I don't know. I can't take this song serious, and it's Guy Fieri. So,
all right, Jeff. Let's see your Super Saiyan level of grumpy old man.
Okay. When did this song become a thing? Like, why is this a thing? Like, I don't get it.
After you turn 47.
So I believe that the correct terminology is 48. Thank you very much. So, but yeah, when this song came out, like, it was just kind of like one of those, like, this is definitely a product of the times. This is definitely a song that's going to live in that little nice shelf of 1999/2000. And it's just going to stay there. And it's going to be one of those songs that we go back to and smile on and then just say, well, that was the thing back then. Now it's taken on a whole new life. What the hell are we even doing now? It's just a definitive song? No. God, no. I mean, is this a funny song? Yes. But is this a definitive song? No. What is wrong with you kids?
Why not both?
A correction to everybody. This song was not originally in Shrek first. It was originally in Mystery Men.
Yes, it's a mystery.
Nobody cares.
Just saying.
Actually, all right, let's go to Jeff now for history.
Okay, let's talk about some real music, people. Now that we got the meme song out of the way, let's go to an actual band that is just... As soon as you hear that opening chord,
Creed.
Take Me Higher. Yes. From the brothers simply known as Van Halen is Jump by Van Halen. The lack of yikeses right now is staggeringly disappointing.
Are you surprised, though? Are you surprised?
I shouldn't be, considering All-Star was third on Koho's list. But for fuck's sake, guys, Jump from Van Halen. This was a big risk for this band at this time because they were known for a lot of guitar-driven rock. This was a huge, especially coming off of their last album, Diver Down. This song was such a big risk, and it is so friggin' good. As soon as you see the just with Eddie Van Halen with that synth riff, and then you get probably the best that we've heard from David Lee Roth on vocals. It is yes, Scully. The fact, and then you have that blistering guitar solo. This song is just perfect Van Halen. The fact that Koho is still not changing this
No,
freaking
I refuse.
Koho, Malala.
Fuck you.
There we go. That's the.
We don't have Malala.
We do have Malala is love. Malala is life.
Malala does not exist between you and I, G chord loving boomer.
That's it. We went too far.
Rip these kids.
All right, cool. Yeah. I don't attach to Jump as well as you do, Jeff. I like Van Halen. They have some really good ones. I think for rock anthems, I might even go running with the devil.
That was the other one I was considering.
Yeah, Jump is like it's. I think this like the synth is great, but I think it's sort of it overwhelms the rest of the song. It's a great riff by Eddie Van Halen, and he eventually does jump into the sort of that classic guitar of like the tap and slide and whatnot. I think in terms of Koho's favorite word of the day, definitive. This sort of defined 80s rock, and I think how 80s rock transitioned to adding the more synth flair and the more pop and the more pop heavy things. But I'm curious to hear what everybody else has to hear. Why nobody has Van Halen? Like you even pick like I said, Running with the Devil. Hot for Teacher. It's a great rock song. I would even consider their cover of Pretty Woman would also be another one I would accept. But the lack of love of Van Halen is kind of sad.
I'll go. I've always been hot and cold with Van Halen. Not to say they're a bad band. I don't think they're a bad band at all. Some songs I like, some songs I don't. If I was going to put it on, I probably would put like "Running with the Devil." That's like one of my favorite songs by them. I think "Jump's" fine. I think it might be a little high. But I get it. Like I said, Jeff's choices have been very on brand for Jeff. So I get Van Halen being so high.
Jim, I'm actually quite surprised you don't have any Van Halen on here.
This is my biggest miss because I was thinking about Jump, and I love Van Halen. I have Best of Both Worlds Greatest Hits in my car right now.
Yeah.
The CD.
Yeah.
CDs, it's 2 actually, because one disc is David Lee Roth, the other is Sammy Hagar.
Yes.
And of course, Dreams ends the Power Rangers movie with a super awesome fireworks display. And my dad so I loved it from that. I love Dreams forever, and then my dad like gave me the Best of Both Worlds, the 2 discs when I was like 9. So yeah, I really love Van Halen. So this is the one where I'm like, oh, I should have put Van Halen. But.
Koho, I see your lips curling. Let's go.
You said real music and proceeded to say the words "Jump" by Van Halen. You want to go meme for meme? Your song made it to Glee on a scene where they were jumping on beds for 20 minutes. That's a meme, sir. Your song is more of a meme than Smash Mouth.
Mute him.
And it's just get out of here. Get out of here.
Oh, it needs to go in timeout.
You want to go?
The song was on Glee, so it's bad.
So no, but we're gonna go meme for meme. Okay.
How is Jump a meme? Please tell me how Jump is a meme.
Because
every GIF on the internet is the fucking people jumping from bed scene from Glee because of
what of the internet do you go to?
If you fucking put in anything Van Halen related,
is that some weird? That's some weird like 4chan thing where it's like where they sort of use that.
You're going to the weird part of the internet, aren't you? Again?
Yeah, the dark corners. He thought he saw Reddit and he's like, nah, fam, we gotta go darker.
GIFs that come up when you type in Van Halen in Google's keyboard.
Probably any David Lee Roth split.
Glee here. I don't see Glee here. Let me scroll down. Oh, no more. Nope.
Okay.
No Glee.
To our audio-only listeners, the story does check out. No such GIFs.
Okay.
Although when I typed in Van Halen, for some reason I got a DJ Khaled on the way.
What?
It comes up differently for everyone, I guess.
Checks out.
Yeah, whatever floats your boat. All right. We're on to Jeff now for your number. No, sorry, Jim for your number.
My third.
Yeah.
Well, my number 3, going off of this, the man who was buried with Eddie's guitar from 2, and if his brother said if we would have told him when he was a 12-year-old boy that when he died he would be buried with Eddie's guitar from 2, he would have said "Kill Me Now," and it's Pantera. Who's heard of Pantera? I've heard of Pantera. Cemetery Gates. Walk in Cowboys from Hell are probably the ones that are a little more can follow along to, just because there's more words really. There's more words and it kind of like follows more. Whereas Cemetery Gates is just kind of like here's like Daryl just being amazing, and then here's some like lyrics, and then here's just Daryl being amazing again. So this is just one of my favorite songs. I seem to have a lot of like 7-minute songs where it's just bands like just shredding and stuff on this list, but this band is great, and Kaleb Koho is an idiot, and Dimebag is one of the like biggest losses of like what could have been like if he did not die as early as he did.
All right, Jim, I'm very sorry. I listened to this song last night. I listen to the song on the way into work, and I listen to the song again on the drive home. I can't figure out why the song is why I don't like it. There's so many.
I listened to "Shallow" once in my car all over again. I can't believe this.
He's not wrong.
Fucking yikes! But there's aspects of this song where I'm like, bands do better versions of this. I get some aspects of like Iron Maiden, and I get some aspects of Van Halen, and sort of that groove metal, of Slipknot, and those other bands, and I think that's why Jeff loves Pantera as well, because I know that he's a massive fan of Slipknot and Korn and whatnot. I tried listening to it. I tried to find the good aspects of it, and it doesn't sit with me. I'm sorry.
Instead here, I'd have all the stars. All the stars. Number 3 says Brooklyn Vail.
All right. Jeff, tell me why I'm wrong, and then Caleb and Doug, tell me why I'm right.
This is probably the best way that Pantera could ever do like a ballad, because like they are just such a hardcore metal band. Like this is the closest you will get to them being like tender and melodic, and it excels in so many ways. That solo from Dime is like one of the best you could ever see. He had probably the best tone. The fact that he could do those pinch harmonics so good, nobody could ever mirror them. Phil Anselmo being really nice with the vocals, some good words there. This is a just all around great song. I understand why it might not be everybody's cup of tea. I can see why Pantera might not be everybody's cup of tea, really, because they are very extreme, but Cemetery Case, I think, is one of their more approachable songs. So the fact that you don't love it as much, man, this is disappointing.
That's fair. Doug, Caleb, tell me why I'm right.
I actually don't agree with you. I like Cemetery Gates. I just don't think it's an anthem, and I would have put Walk above it as an anthem.
Probably, yeah.
And Caleb, have you heard of Pantera?
I like Cemetery Gates. I'm with them, but it's also
You're not. No.
I like Cemetery Gates.
Jim has the red dot on you. Where's your?
I like Cemetery Gates, and it's not an anthem, and it's not definitive. Walk is the definitive Pantera song. So,
well then, interesting. I tried, and it wasn't my cup of tea. But let's move on to number 2s now. Caleb, what's your number 2? Or not Caleb, Doug. Doug, what's your number 2?
All right. My number 2 is probably one of my favorite Queen songs of all time. I was actually really tossed up with a lot of Queen songs because I was like, there's so many you could choose from. But let's be honest, the definitive Queen song is Bohemian Rhapsody.
That is my 2 as well. So there we go.
Queen is my 2 as well. So.
Honestly, just once again, you could probably do this entire list over with the top 10 Queen rock anthems and have like a full list available. Like you could go from Hammer to Fall, you could do Radio Gaga, but then you also have Bohemian Rhapsody and We Will Rock You, We're the Champions. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
No, I 100% agree with you, Koho. This song is beautiful. It has some of the most iconic chanting moments and sing-along moments that you could probably have in a. This is the definition of a stadium anthem. You could fill a stadium. You see it during Live Aid. You fill a stadium and people sing it, and it's just ridiculously good. Freddie Mercury, one of the greatest songwriters of all time. And I'll let the rest of everybody else say because they all had it too. Yeah.
I have a different song choice, so Koho can go first.
Bohemian Rhapsody is one of the gutsiest rock songs ever, and I think it paid off in the long run. I think if we're going definitive, once again, this is the Queen song. This is the legacy that they will leave behind because it's one of the best rock songs ever written. Just the dynamics of the song all the way through how it changes just from piano to the different operatics to everything that they do throughout the song. It's impressive, and I think there's no one on earth that doesn't know what Bohemian Rhapsody is or haven't listened to it that can't sing it. Like it's the Queen song. So yeah.
So my number 2 is actually the mega version of "We Will Rock You" and "We Are the Champions" put together as one.
You cheater!
8 minutes.
No,
I asked for
he's
the
not.
last time.
I'll
If
allow
I
it.
could do this,
I allowed it. I allowed it. Yes.
because this is actually Bohemian Rhapsody is a better song, but this is the better anthem for Queen. Which if we're picking nits because Koho wants to keep being like definitive. Definitive.
That was the definition I was given of this list.
This song / version of these 2 songs put together is definitely the better anthem for Queen. And I think because obviously it's like the lyrics are much simpler, and the whole like everyone does that and they can sing along. Whereas Bohemian Rhapsody, it's like maybe Karen and Koho need to just calm it down trying to sing the operatic section.
Okay. But I will defend his double pick right there. That is the way it's played on radio stations all the time. It's played those 2 together.
I know on a previous because on the old jukebox playlist we did do Queen, and I was a big old bully and I made people separate these songs. But I'll get it out of the way. Even as a kid, I was never really into "We Are the Champions." Like "We Will Rock You" has it like the acapella stuff is great, but the minute that you throw in the guitar, I'm kind of just like it goes from great to like meh. So I've like, and that's something that I've never really gotten into. It's a great like quarter of a song, but the rest of it I'm indifferent, and there's nothing that I can really do to sort of change that. Bohemian Rhapsody, on the other hand, is the greatest rock opera songs. 10 out of 10 dogs would approve of Bohemian Rhapsody. It has great movements. This is one that is played at the local dance scene for us. And it's always the last song played at the end of the night, and it's everybody is like linked in arms, and it's belted from start to finish, and very similar to Wayne's World. As soon as you get to that riff, everybody's headbanging, and that is an anthem. It is an anthem in its purest form for me. But Jeff, how you didn't have Queen on here at all? You didn't have Bohemian Rhapsody. You didn't have Will Rock You, the Champions.
And you dare to fucking tell me that "Jump" by Van Halen is real music? You could
have even had "Don't Stop Me Now," "I Want to Break Free," Radio Gaga. I even pick "The Show Must Go On." No Queen though at all.
Let me counter this. I'll say all are great picks. My personal favorite Queen song. You add a little David Bowie in there with, yes, I understand I'm on trial. Add a little David Bowie with Under Pressure. That's probably my definitive Queen song. But it was sitting literally at number 11. I had to. It's tough. I do love Queen a lot. I don't connect a lot with "We Are the Champions" and "We Will Rock You" a lot. Bohemian Rhapsody is a fantastic song. I think part of the reason it kind of kills it for me a little bit is it's one of the most. As soon as somebody says they're singing this at karaoke, all the eyes begin to roll, and it kind of kills it in a way for me, but it doesn't still take away from the song. I do love Queen, but I love some other songs just a little bit more for my own personal tastes.
Another one dust.
For the audio listeners, I'm shaking my head in disgust and shame. I understand. I understand if you don't pick Queen, but you picked Under Pressure. Probably their most overrated song in my opinion. I hear that song on the radio and I usually skip it nine times out of 10. It's good, not great.
No, you hear that song on the radio and you go, please be Ice Ice Baby, please be Ice Ice Baby.
I mean, who really loses in that case? Everybody's a winner.
All right, so we got through everybody's number 2 except for Jeff. So Jeff, what was your number 2?
I'm surprised we did not have any mention of this particular artist, this particular guitar god by any chance. One James Marshall Hendricks with "Purple Haze." This song is just as soon as you hear that intro tone, you know you're in for something that's just gonna be awesome. And he delivers. He's probably one of the best toned guitarists I've ever heard. He is a master for a reason, and this is like the defining song for him. I mean, I was really tempted to put Voodoo Child in there, but as far as like a song that just like really just like hammers along and really defines like that anthem, Voodoo Child's more of like a groovy kind of song, but Haze, this is just an anthem in it of itself, you know, with the vocals and then the stop. It like it knows when to stop, it knows when to keep going, and it hits so well. I love her plays.
Yeah. Jimi Hendrix in general is great. I understand why you're the only person who has Jimi Hendrix on here, but that doesn't mean that I'm not still giving the other three a stirred look as to why they don't have Jimi Hendrix in the experience on here. I think if it was up to me, I would have personally went with All Along the Watchtower. I think for me that's more anthemic, and I think also because his cover of that song changed the way that Bob Dylan performed that song in the future, and just the way that he was able to change it. And I think again, like I said in previous songs before, again, it's a great balance of lyricism and musicality. This one, it sort of goes back and forth. And the lyrics aren't as like stand out and anthemic as All on the Watchtower, but I totally get it. The guitar is great. Even though like if you're not air guitaring, you're sort of like you're humming it, or you're doing it, which is fun. But I'm curious to hear why nobody has Jimi Hendrix.
I'll go ahead and start by saying I just don't think people are singing along to Jimi Hendrix songs. I don't think anyone sings along with Jimi Hendrix. He's I think he is the greatest guitarist of all time for a reason. He's excellent at it. But I don't think he's making songs that people sit down and sing along to, or stand up and cheer and sing along to. It's just not that kind of musician, and that's fine. Not every musician has to be that. But for a top 10 rock anthems list, Jimi Hendrix shouldn't even sniff your number 2 spot.
Oh my God, Koho.
Shouldn't.
I'm gonna be honest. Jimi Hendrix for me is a guitarist. I've never been one to love his vocals. But if you were going to do a rock anthem, you should have did when he did Woodstock and did the Star Spangled Banner, because that's an anthem.
That's technically an anthem, yes.
I know it's technically an anthem, but the way he did it was so unique, was so ridiculously good. Again, I have no problem with him being on your list. I just honestly I think that song among everything when you talk about anthems it's actually an anthem, but the way he makes it his own and iconic with just playing the guitar. He makes the guitar speak, which is one of my favorite thing that any guitarist does. Even though he shouldn't be mentioned on the list. Why am I blanking on his name? This goddamn headache. Y'all know who I'm talking about. You
Peter
probably
Frampton,
don't.
are you thinking of?
No,
like doing like the talk box
faces. Had sex with everybody.
That literally doesn't narrow it down.
I know it doesn't.
That's like a
Keith Richards?
No, Keith. No. Gravity. Your body is a wonderland. Why
John
am
Mayer.
John there Mayer. You go. John Mayer, when he's playing guitar and he's just playing guitar, it makes it speak, and it's beautiful. I love guitarists that do that. Like I said, I'm not a huge fan of his vocal work, and I don't think a lot of people – I do agree with Koho. I don't think a lot of people sing along with his songs. I think a lot of people are air guitaring and humming the things like Brooklyn said, but I don't think a lot of people are singing along with him. But like I said, on brand for Jeff. I like I've been saying, I can't critique it. It's a legend. It's a legend of the game. But like,
I love how I have a brand now.
You have a brand. You have a brand when it comes to music.
I'm like Coca-Cola of the community. I'm just classic.
Jim?
We're coming up on 2 hours, so I'll keep it quick. This is just another like I like Jimmy. But it's just only so many spots, and he just didn't occur to me to go on the list. So,
all right, let's get to some number ones now. Starting with Doug.
All right, so I wanted to put this song on because it's one of my mom's favorite songs, and it's one of her favorite songs from growing up. She would tell me about her and her friends going to see this band live.
Freebird?
It's totally Freebird, guys. It's Freebird. It's Rihanna by Fleetwood Mac.
Rihanna, you mean?
Rihanna. I always mess it up. But I think this song is iconic. I think for a lot of females at the time, my mom always told me it kind of empowered her. And I think that's a very big point when it comes to anthems, empowerment, doing stuff like that. There's other songs that you obviously could choose from Fleetwood Mac, but I think this is a really iconic song. If you actually listen to the lyrics, you listen to the melodies and everything like that, I think it's a great anthem. Again, people are probably going to say it's too high on my list, but again, sentimental values. I wanted to represent my mom on here since she kind of introduced me to music and all my tastes.
I was getting ready to tear a strip into you for not having you had Fleetwood Mac on here, but you could have had The Chain. You could have had I would have even allowed Goldust Woman, Go Your Own Way, Secondhand News. You could have even went with Dreams. I think Dreams is a really good anthem. But then, like, this is your personal pick. There's a sentimental value to it. It attaches to your mom. So I will allow it. I think, like I said, everybody sort of has that personal pick. It's a touch high, but I get it. There are more anthemic Fleetwood Mac songs, yeah, Rihanna's good. It's good. I actually have a cousin that's named after this song, and it's a fun riff to play. I like Stevie Nicks' vocal performance in it. It's sort of like eerie and mysterious, and then whenever the rest of them come in with the harmonies, it's cool. I don't consider it as much of an anthem. Jim and Jeff, Fleetwood Mac, and Rihanna in particular. How do you feel?
I'll go first, Jeff, because I'm gonna shit on Fleetwood Mac a little bit. Just because I know Fleetwood Mac is the Luca Brooklyn Rosa. This band is the greatest band that has ever walked the face of the earth, and you will wrong if you don't agree with us. Pick. So I thought of Stevie for a minute, and I was like, no, I'm not attached enough to Fleetwood Mac to put them on this list. So whatever.
I was just gonna say the bar comment of "cool, you guys are still on" is usually a really bad sign. But no, I mean I can't get too mad. Fleetwood Mac being number one, I'm not a fan as much as everyone else. I'm with Jim. I know Brooklyn literally thinks that they are Jesus Christ incarnate in music. I
think Rumors is the greatest album. I haven't explored them outside of Rumors. But yeah.
So anyway.
You are not wrong, and Rumors is one of the best albums of all time. Yes. Fleetwood Mac is an amazing band. Rhiannon is probably, I think, one of their most underrated songs. Everybody kind of like looks at, Go Your Own Way, The Chain, Gypsy even. I think Rhiannon is a fantastic song. It's a very haunting kind of way that she sings it, and I really do enjoy the song a lot. I'm not going to fault him for putting it on there. I don't think it's like a top anthem, but I think it's a fantastic Fleetwood Mac song.
All right, cool. Let's go to Kaleb now for their number one.
I'm not going to read off the riot act about why this is my number one because I've already explained the way that I picked my number one and everything on this list. And number one came immediately easy to me when I say Don't Stop Believing by Journey. It's the song that you know all the lyrics to, sing along to. It's an arena rock song that
why didn't you yikes it earlier, you dickhead?
I did. I yiked it earlier, you dickhead. Yes, that's why you didn't talk about it. But no, I think this is, I just think this is the definitive rock song. It's the one that that I think gets most people, or at least got me, kind of hooked on going back and checking that stuff out. And that's why Journey's one of my favorites. And I think this is a song that is, if we're talking definitive, it fits definitive to a T. So, yeah.
Since I also had it on my list, I will go this. I agree with most of what Koho said, and I will take you to an episode of Family Guy, which Brooklyn will definitely know. And it's that like everyone has that same reaction to when they just like start drunkenly singing Journey, and then I'm sorry.
Oh, it's Journey.
And then there's like somebody's like casket,
The funeral. Yeah.
funeral, and then she's like, "Is that Journey? Oh, it is Journey." And then it's capped by the beautiful at the end. And they go 1, 2, 3. Holy crap! We don't know any other songs. But yeah, and then I have this is like one of my best friends. Like this is our song. Like it's like yeah. You're my like every time I hear it, I think of him. So it's like, yeah, of course it was gonna make sense.
I had in my notes to rip into Koho that you have to thank Family Guy before you thank Lee of getting Don't Stop Believing back into sort of the mainstream.
I do.
Yeah. But yeah, this is overplayed. It's overplayed a lot. I think that's why it loses sort of like the quality value of it. I mean, obviously Steve Perry is Steve Perry. He's one of the greatest vocalists of our time. I would actually agree with Bar. Separate Ways, I think, is a better song, but definitely Don't Stop Believing is a better anthem. I would even consider Lights, and I would actually put Love and Touch and Squeezing in that same breath of Journey anthems / songs.
I mean, there's a Journey anthem / song that I like more in Stone in Love, but I don't call that as definitive.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I mean, I get it. I don't agree with it, but it's whatever. It's fine. Doug, Jeff, Don't Stop Believing. I understand why, but I'm curious as to hear why it's not even top 10.
Believing.
Oh, Thomas just played. Yeah, that's my favorite Journey song.
Faithfully.
Yeah,
well, it's my personal favorite also.
Yeah, I'm in the boat with Brooklyn. This song is really overplayed, and I'm just tired of hearing it.
Yeah, I said earlier with Bohemian Rhapsody being the song everybody rolls their eyes to, this is the song everybody rolls their eyes to when it's coming up on karaoke. It's kind of like, do you really have anything else you need to sing? I mean, I love Journey. Journey is such a great band. I think they have great songs. This song is just, you turn on any classic rock radio station, this song is playing at some point throughout the day. You know, it's so overexposed that it's just kind of like fine.
All right. Sorry.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say, it just reminds me of Scrubs a lot. I like the fact that it reminds me of Scrubs because he's always trying to get Turk to get a Journey cover band to play. But yeah, sorry.
All right, let's go to Jeff now for his number one.
All right, number one for me. It got yikesed earlier by Doug. It had to be. It's nice. Stairway to Heaven from Led Zeppelin. I mean, this song, again, I have a theme with my music sandwiches. This is the perfect music sandwich. You know, you have this steady progression, you know, going from, you know, that perfect, you know, somber guitar in the beginning, and then you get into that nice 12-string sound, and then it just, you know, the drums start kicking in, and it's a continuous progression of just musical bliss. It is so good. Jim,
a wild Jim girlfriend making an appearance
as he eats his popcorn right now.
We're at the 2-hour mark. He needed a snack.
A little snacky snack.
Oh, I've been snacking the entire show. I don't blame him.
Yeah, but you know, so like, and just kind of like finishing up with it. Yeah, you know, it has the perfect ending. You know, it has those sailing rock vocals in at the end with the great, you know, solo at the end, and then it's just the perfect ending with just the vocals at the end. This is the song. This is the song that you get kicked out of guitar stores for playing. There's a reason why this song is banned, because nobody can come close to even touching how this song is played. It's a perfect song in my eyes. Stairway is beautiful.
Doug, you had this at 10. Why at 10?
I had a 10 because I think it's a great anthem, and I just I had reasons for my other songs being higher, but no, I'm right in the boat with Jeff. I think this song is fantastic. I think this song is an anthem when you look at the definitive proof of anthems. I think this song was made even more. It got brought back just like how Bohemian Rhapsody got brought back. It got brought back with Wayne's World. So it crossed generations. You know, people know this song. You could start singing the beginning lyrics, and people are going to start singing along with you. It's even to that haunting end part where she's it's crazy good. I enjoy the song a lot.
Yeah. There's a reason why Robert Plant wrote a letter to a Vancouver radio host thanking him for not ever playing Stairway to Heaven. It's not as overplayed as Don't Stop Believing, but it's damn close. It's a great song, and I understand why it's an anthem. Personally, for me, I would have picked like the Immigrant Song. I would have picked Kashmir. I also would have picked Going to California. And I ramble on personally, but I understand that it's not necessarily an anthem. Jeff sort of hit the nail right on the head, where it is that music sandwich of a great intro. You have that great story by Robert Plant. They have that break in between where Jimmy Page sort of gets to have fun, and then you go right back into it. Sort of that blend of his riff work and then Robert Plant's great vocals. Yeah, I wish this one wasn't as played as much, and it sort of people sort of savored the song and just didn't really like abuse it. But Jim and Caleb, where's Led Zeppelin?
Nowhere, because this song is overrated as fuck, and I'm like, this was okay. Remember? Some people can't remember, but remember when I was like talking about how I was scared to watch The Godfather because I was like, people have just told me it's the best thing of all time, and then I watched it and I was like, okay, this is the best thing of all time. And then, but I had the exact opposite with Stairway to Heaven. This is the best thing ever. I was like, that was thoroughly okay at best.
Yeah. I just not into Led Zeppelin. Really, sorry.
All right, that's your homework after Foo Fighters. You're gonna listen to Led Zeppelin, and then you're gonna thank us later.
I'm probably never actually going to get through Foo Fighters now because you told me I have to listen to Led Zeppelin, and I don't want to because I only like one song out of the 5 I've heard.
I've listened to the same Foo Fighters album 18 times, so I don't have to listen to Led Zeppelin.
Yeah, I will literally listen to the entire Wasting Light album on repeat before I decide to listen to Led Zeppelin because I think they're not good. Anyway, cool.
All right, now we're on to Jim. The last pick. What's your number one?
My number one is the last song of the single greatest comeback album of all time, and it is the last song on Back in Black, which of course people are just gonna say there's better anthems from AC/DC, which is true, and there's better anthems on Back in Black, which is probably true. But Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution is like the perfect song to end this like album, which the album itself it's kind of like Wasting Light in a way to where like every song is just really, really big. And if it's just going like 100 miles an hour. But this song being the last song on Brian Johnson's first album with the band, it's just like really, it starts out really, really low, and you have that like the sound effect of like smoking, and then it's just that riff from Angus. Like it's just really nice and smooth, and then it picks up to where you get that bigger like AC/DC, like that kind of like Let There Be Rock and Hell's Bells, like really big sounds to it, and I think it just progresses perfectly, and of course. Like most of the songs that I picked, this album was one of my dad's favorites, and it was another one where he just gave me the CD, and I just remember like endlessly as an 11-year-old mowing the like acre and a half that we had. It's like I'm just gonna listen to Back in Black on repeat. So yeah, that's my pick, and okay. Yeah, there you go.
I can't shit on you for having the song. When I saw your list and this was your number one, I was like, yeah. That's totally correct. It is very anthemic. But you could go the route of like Back to Black or like TNT or Shoot for Thrill. A lot of AC/DC is anthem, but I think this is one of the more underrated and I think overlooked AC/DC songs. Now, this is where they get simple right. It's simple, but it's executed perfectly, and it fits to the general gist of what AC/DC is, and especially whenever Brian Johnson took over from Bon Scott. But I'll keep mine short and sweet. none of you had AC/DC. Jeff, I'm quite surprised because that's right in his neck of the woods of his demographic. So why don't you have some great catchy rock?
It fits right into that Coca-Cola personality of me, but yeah. I like AC/DC a lot. I think a lot of they were built for anthemic rock songs. If I would have chosen, Back in Black is like kind of like their like main go-to one. I always think for those about to rock, it's like the definitive like anthem for them. And for rock and roll in general. It was kind of hard to pick just one. Rock and Roll at Noise Pollution. It's a good song. I wouldn't call it my first pick from them, but it's a solid AC/DC song. But so I like them, but they would sit a little bit outside my top 10, probably in the top 15.
All right, Doug.
I like AC/DC. I just I'm in the same boat as Jeff. There was a lot to pick, and I didn't know which one to put on. But Rock and Roll ain't Noise Pollution isn't a bad song at all, and I personally understand why Jim put it on there. So
yeah,
Kaleb.
It's the same problem that I have with Green Day. There's too many. There's too many great ones to pick from. And Rock and Roll Ain't Noise Pollution is one of the ones I considered. I would have probably, if I had to pick, maybe at this moment would have gone You Shook Me All Night Long. I think that's a great one. But I think it's hard to argue. I mean, it's like Queen. You could literally make an entire list out of AC/DC songs. So I couldn't pick.
All right. Well, we've gotten through everybody's personal lists. This is going to be, this is a long one. I thought we were going to
originally had another person.
The moment I knew this was going to be a long one is when we finished 7 through 4s at like an hour and 10 minutes.
Yikes!
I was like, we're not ending early.
No. All right. So let's go through the culmination of the lists. At number 10 is Jump by Van Halen. Then we have Losing My Religion, We Will Rock You, Touch We Are the Champions, Purple Haze, Rhiannon, Rock and Roll, Ain't Noise Pollution at 5, Stairway to Heaven, 3 is All Star, 2 is Don't Stop Believing, which is a fucking yikes, and number 1, It's Fair, Bohemian Rhapsody is the definitive choice. It is the rock anthem. I gave this one a B minus. There was some good picks on here. There were some good artists, but I think there were some better songs that we could have associated with those artists. So this would be like a low 80s percentage wise. But let's now go into.
All I gotta say is All Star being in the top 3 is fucking correct. Sorry, Jeff.
That it's above Stairway to Heaven.
Stairway to Heaven is garbage. Get off your high horse. Anyway.
All right. Now, with this being said, your winner of Your List Sucks was but Kaleb Koho is the winner of Your List Sucks this week. He had a B. He was tied with another person, but the only reason that he was the winner is because he's the only person on the panel to have American Pie on it, and American Pie is the greatest rock anthem ever. So for that reason, he breaks the tie and he is the winner. He has a B ranking. So technically tied first, but also second place would be Doug. Doug also gets a B. Same thing. He had some great picks. A little too much 90s, but he had some good sleeper picks in the middle. In third place is Jim. Jim had a C. I would have rearranged his list a little bit. I would have put Tribute higher, Deuce higher. I would have put We'll Rock You probably in the lower bottom 10s. And I'm like I don't get Cemetery Gates at number 3. I just don't get it.
I should have put all the stars. You're right.
Oh, you're right, Jeff. I'm sorry, but your list sucks. I'm surprised that I'm saying that your list sucks, but I know how vast your rock knowledge is, and you went it's so funneled into one demographic of like late 60s, like 60s and 70s, and a little bit of 80s. And I was like, I know you like 90s. I know you like 2000s. I was surprised that you had no Tom Petty on here whatsoever. No Red Hot Chili Peppers. So for that reason, your list sucks. It is a C, probably the highest ranking for a Your List Sucks. But that is the episode of Your List Sucks. very quickly, I'm gonna put it in the chat here. I actually took all the songs that were mentioned today on your list sucks, as well as every other list that was given to me, and I threw them into one massive playlist. That is in the chat right now in YouTube. So if you're looking for some stuff for some just general rock anthems, so everybody's list plus some other ones, Cameron Holzman, Andrew, Luca threw in lists, and I threw in ones that I thought were forgotten. And there, so about 75 songs. But thank you, everybody. Next week, or to go through
okay, so we don't have a whole schedule. We're going to determine what the next topics are. We only have next week's. Next week's is favorite movies of all time. Cody Newberry is on the panel. He is not judging. Kirk Kowalkowski is judging, and it is in honor of Cody Newberry's birthday next week. So he will be on the show. Submit your lists to myself or Kirk, and we will get down to the bottom. It's your favorite movies of all time, not best movies of all time, your favorite movies of all time. So that's next week, and we will get you a full schedule after that week once we figure out what the topics are going forward. Directorial debuts is one that might come out later this year. Original songs of the 2010s. There's a lot of topics that have been thrown around. We'll get to it. We're going to come up with a definitive schedule. But all we have is next week, favorite movies of all time.
Hey, Koho, I can submit my list now. Number 1 is Shrek. Nothing else matters.
You're right. You win. You win the list with Shrek at 10, 1 through 10, all Shrek. On VHS, though. Only on VHS.
All right, that does wrap up another episode of Your List Sucks. I was your guest host today, Brooklyn, in place of Cody. For Jim, for Jeff, for Doug, for Caleb. Cheers, guys. Subscribe to Multiplex. Find us on our podcast feed. Cheers, and as always, drive safely.
Well, I'm funny how? I mean, funny like I'm a clown. I amuse you.
God. Eat shit. How's that? Eat shit. Eat shit. Eat shit.
Smug smile.
Definitely eat shit.
I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not gonna take this anymore!
You can't handle the truth.